This is the Sabinetek Smartmike Plus, a wireless Bluetooth microphone that connects to your phone, it connects to cameras, it connects to pretty much anything. It's absolutely tiny, and in this video I'm going to review whether you should buy one. Sabinetek have been pretty heavy with the advertising. It's funny because I've done a kind of an unboxing video and a few other videos on this, and I've had a bunch of my mates reach out to me and say, oh, you got targeted with the Facebook ads too. Could this now be my favorite microphone? And the answer is, in this video, I'm going to cover off some comparisons to other microphones that I've used, such as my Rode Video Micro Compact, as well as the Rode Lavalier or lapel microphone that I use, as well as some of the onboard microphones that are included in my Nikon camera, as well as on my smartphone. And of course, the main thing we're going to be looking at is quality of sound. Lastly, I'll be looking at how easy it is to set up and some of the other features that I really like about it, as well as a couple of things that I would change if I could. So the first thing I want to say is this is the audio you're hearing right now. I had to play around with it like all new equipment for a little while to understand the gain levels or the volume levels of the microphone. Nothing beats the convenience of a shotgun microphone like this. Most cameras have them kind of built into it on the top. This Nikon one sounds awful, by the way. I've got a comparison piece of audio coming up that you'll hear just how bad it is in comparison. Personally, I've tried this out and I think it sounds pretty terrible. It sounds really muffled and echoey at the same time. And of course, as I move further away, the audio just gets much worse because it has a harder time picking it up. So this is now currently recording through this Sabinetek Smart microphone. But in terms of ease of use, a shotgun mic like this is what we call a unidirectional mic or a directional mic, is so simple. The only problem, however, is that as you're recording, if you get further away or you get closer to it, the audio comes in and out. It's not terrible, and there's ways to be able to negate that, but for sheer convenience, there's nothing easier than being able to plug one of these in, set the microphone, and get talking. For example, with my Nikon right now, usually I'd have this microphone on top talking into it. However, I like to be animated, I like to walk around, I like to wave my hands like a madman. And what I found is that the Rode Video Micro Compact, while extremely easy to use and convenient, was a little bit bulky, and I didn't quite like the audio levels. For example, if I set up a really wide shot where I'm quite far away, the audio level would dip and I would have to increase the volume. The main thing that I was really looking for is I want something that's really quick and easy to set up, and of course something where the audio sounds really good. Now, with the audio sounding good with any microphone, it doesn't matter what you use. I use a bunch of different mics. My favorite one is probably actually my Audio-Technica ATR USB 2100, which is this one here. This thing here is just an absolute workhorse, has XLR on the bottom, it has micro USB for podcasting. It sounds fantastic, but it's not really convenient for setting up videos like this. With something this small, it would mean that I could basically take my phone, a small tripod, or my camera like we have now, go out anywhere and just start recording. Basically what I was looking for was a wireless microphone that didn't cost, you know, 500 bucks. A wireless microphone that plugs into your camera or your phone typically costs around £500, $500 or whatever. This came in for both units. I've got two units, one attached to me and one attached to my camera. This came in at, I think, around 250 quid, which is crazy low in comparison. My only hesitation was that because it was a Bluetooth microphone, that the sound would be really badly compressed. And I've got good news. The reality is, I think actually the sound is fantastic, but there's a few different ways that you have to use the microphone and the app in order to get the best out of it. So like I mentioned at the top, any microphone that you buy, you will get the best audio out of it when you learn how to use the microphone properly. Out of the box, it'll work, but it's not going to get the best out of it. So you have to play around with it a little bit. And a few of the things I found were adjusting the gain level. So right now, this is what we call master and slave mode. For example, if I show you, I'm talking on this mic right here, but then we've got the second microphone right here. So it means that whatever I say into this microphone gets transmitted and then pulled into the audio. However, there are other ways of using it too. If you have just one microphone, which is perfectly acceptable, of course, there is the Smartmike app, which basically sets up a bunch of the audio recording options so you can adjust the gain. And I've said the word gain quite a lot. Basically, that is how sensitive the microphone is. So I'm going to cycle through a few options. At the moment, I've got it set on the lowest gain. My voice is quite loud, it's quite close to me, so I've got it set on the lowest level. If I click this button once, you can hear that the background noise comes up, and you can probably hear a lot more of the horrible sounds from my mouth. This is the highest level. Then this is the high level. This is what it is set to default. This is medium, so this is low enough, but when I talk, it does push the audio bars right to the right-hand side. And this is back to low again. So personally, I think it sounds better when it's at its low level, but this, you can adjust the gain via 2 units if you're plugged into a camera. But if you've only got 1 unit and you're just doing it on your phone, you can actually do it via the app. There's a bunch of other ways that you can use the microphone as well. You can use them on Zoom calls, and I've even used it giving a webinar where I've had this earpiece plugged into my ear. I plug this one into the top like that, and I've been able to have conversations with people while teaching on the whiteboard. The reason I wanted a wireless mic is that my lapel microphone, it's difficult to have a free-form movement because it still has to plug into something. So while it would give me perfect audio every single time, and the audio was perfect, I wasn't able to move as freely because I had a wire sticking under my t-shirt trailing all the way back to the camera. And if I did a really wide shot, you'd basically see this wire kind of looping into the camera. I didn't want that anymore, but a wireless microphone was just way outside of my budget. But now a wireless microphone is inside the budget. One last little piece. There is a thing, as I mentioned, called master and slave mode, which I've talked about a little bit. I'm going to bring it up on screen now. All you have to do is press one button for 10 seconds or so, and it turns into master slave mode. And then you turn on the other unit and they connect. Now, I've had a bit of trouble in the past getting them to connect really easily. However, with the latest firmware update, they seem to be connecting really easily. Something else I really love is that if you have 2 microphones, you can connect them both to the Bluetooth of your phone, which means that 2 people, if you're doing an interview or a podcast, can wear a microphone each, and it will record it automatically to the phone. The video files that they produce via the app are pretty big, whereas a 10 or 20 minute video might be around 1.2 gigs. On this, it can stretch into 5 or 6 gigabytes. And I have found that the playback immediately via the app wasn't perfectly synced up. The audio wasn't synced up. However, when I exported it to my PC, threw it into Camtasia, that's what I use to edit videos, I found that the audio did sync up. So I don't know whether it's a playback issue, whether it's trying to play, you know, the AAC, which is the audio file, and the MP4 at the same time, or if it's the MP4 is compressed in a weird way. I don't know what's going on with that. It's probably something they'll fix with another firmware update. The biggest problem, in my opinion, is the documentation, and the manual is pretty atrocious. Luckily, there are tons of videos on YouTube. There's tons of podcasts out there. There's also a really good Facebook group that's quite active. If you're thinking of starting doing videos and podcasts and stuff, personally, the Sabinetek Smartmike Plus wouldn't be my first port of call. I think the best thing for you to do is to buy a microphone like this, a shotgun mic, just attach it to your phone. These have got a bunch of different cable attachments as well, which means that I can plug it into my camera, I can plug it into my phone because they have slightly different headphone jack attachments. And it means that you can just get recording straight away super easily, and then over time start looking at some different microphones. If you stream a lot, and if you use your phone a lot, and you're already using your phone to create video content, and a lot of video content, this might be the best microphone that you could have possibly bought. There's a bunch of different attachments that you can get as well. I got the Twin Bundle Pro pack, I think, or the Content Creator pack, which comes with these sort of built-in little tiny unidirectional microphones, which are very cute. These plug into the top and then become a directional mic, a little bit like the Rode, which means that you then have that level of flexibility to create directional microphones, or shotgun mics as they're sometimes called, and just throw that on top of your camera or even on top of your phone. So there's a lot of versatility here, but in terms of the ease of use, the convenience, it's so light, it's so small. It's got roughly a 6-hour battery charge. I don't think you can go wrong. It wouldn't be the first microphone that I would buy if I was going to start video, as I've mentioned. But if you're already using a microphone and you're already creating a lot of video content, I would get 2. I wouldn't get just 1. Getting 1 is fine if you can only afford 1. But if you can get 2 for the extra £100 or the extra $100 or whatever, get 2 and you're able to connect it to so much more stuff. So realistically, they should really sell them as a pair. I understand why they sell them individually, because They do connect your phone just fine via the app, via Bluetooth. But if you want to have a little bit more flexibility and, you know, a lot more versatility, I would get both. In the meantime, if you've bought one of these, let me know down in the comments below. I'm a big fan of this. Like I said, I don't want it to sound like I'm not a fan of it. I am. I think it's an absolutely outstanding bit of kit. It's incredible what we can do now with technology. And for under $300 to get something of this quality that allows me to do so much, I think is absolutely outstanding. It's more of a, you know, intermediary to advanced microphone rather than a beginner's microphone. You have to play around with the Bluetooth, you've got to play around with the settings a little bit, but if you're a bit of a geek and you like to kind of get involved with that stuff, you're going to have a great time changing all the settings and playing around with it. If you have got this, let me know down in the comments below. I've also got the unboxing video, which I'm sure I put up beside me right now, where I'm talking through the packaging and how I was really happy with the quality of the packaging and the quality of the delivery and the communication. But in the meantime, guys, I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mike from Sell Your Service. Have courage, commit, and take action.